In this Electro Boots meta, no one is using the Fireball anymore, and today I'm going to show you that Fireball Super Witches is not only insanely strong, it counters a lot of the bases in the meta. Today I'm going to show you how strong Super Witch Fireball is, not by showing good attacks I do with the army, but by showing the stupid attacks I do with the army and still get 3 stars. Like here, where I thought I was going to be able to Fireball the Monolith, it was so blind not to see the Mortar at 6 o'clock. Terrible Fireball, we're still going to get 3 stars. Now in terms of the hero equipment, this is what I'm running on the account. This is my free-to-play Town Hall 17, so hopefully you all have hero equipment of at least similar-ish levels. But because my Fireball got no value, and I didn't really want to warden walk straight into the Monolith, so let's just enter the base right here. Now on the Queen, I do have the Giant Arrow. Now normally you pop that immediately, but given I got stalled on the CC, I didn't want the Invis to re-trigger. So I waited till right now, then we pop it, that Invis tower goes off, but it's not going to reactivate before my troops get into the core. Now, unfortunately, the king didn't open up the wall. It was quite weak though, I think, but my troops end up going through it quite nicely, and now we're in the center of the base. Now, this is raged up, and this is where we got to use our freeze spells and rage spells. The Super Witches are super tanky, but Rage Towers at Town Hall 17 can take them down. It's not like Town Hall 16 where the Super Witches were basically immortal. Now on the top side, we've got the Valks from the Siege Barracks, and we've got the Royal Champion. And the job here is for the Royal Champion to clear up the base. So we've got a few Valks of our own, and we're just sprinkling them on the outside of the base, and we're just going to be tanking all the defenses. The less damage the Royal Champion takes, the better. Obviously, yeah, that's how the Royal Champion works, but the longer she lives, she's just going to get so much damage done. The Electro Boots are not a fair play equipment at all, and look at this, despite how bad the funnel was, I've still got 2 of my Super Witches up. I mean, I don't even know how they lived. Yes, this wasn't a maxed out base, but I still think I 3-star this, even if it's maxed out, because I mean, look at how many troops I've got up. Still got the Royal Champion ability. We popped that there, and we're going to run over the rest of this base. But don't worry, I've got other bad attacks to put in today's video, and that's what I like about this attack strategy. You can make mistakes, but still get 40 cups. This Fireball was genuinely unforgivable, so I'm trying to go for this air defense here, because you get really nice value with that. But yet again, I'm just refusing to learn from my mistakes. This attack happened after the previous one. And yeah, the fact that I didn't learn from that is kind of disgraceful, honestly. Healers are taking some damage as well. Unfortunately, we're getting the lineup with the Fire Spitter. And look, I've got no funnel, but we're just gonna have to make do. Now, this base has 2 Invis towers, but they're not very well placed. These should be Rage Towers, honestly, on this base. And if they were Rage Towers, I'm not sure whether I would have got the 3-star here, but not really my fault, the base, what Spell Towers is running. So we use the Queen ability there. We get not only the Healer Puppet, but we've activated both of the said Invis Towers. Now, because my Fireball sucked, I can use the Earthquake with my King. So Earthquake Boots plus Earthquake, I mean, unbelievable combination. Didn't know you even had to try it. Queen's on the top side, doing a great job. The Valks come out of the Siege Barracks, and they're tanking for her, which is all that I could ask for. Now, I feel like we get a little unlucky here. Look at this. The king runs outside the base to go... I don't know. I don't know what the king's doing. If he went into the core of the base, that would have been ideal, given I used my only rage spell there to keep these Super Witches alive. And yeah, the Super Witch gets completely wrecked. Healers switch to the Royal Champion, which is nice. Look at the work the Queen's putting in on the top side. Even though she doesn't have the Mirror Puppet or the Frozen Arrow, she can still get really nice value. So Royal Champion ability goes on the top side. Now I do wall break here to tank the multi-arch tower to try and keep the Queen up. That was a bad idea. I should have wall broke for my king here. I should have wall broke for the king. Now, this gets extremely close. We're just going to fast forward through this. Yes, we end up getting a 3-star from here. I get the Wizard Tower down. And then look at this. Not exactly an overkill, but think of how bad my Fireball was. 0 value whatsoever, and we're still able to get a 3-star on a pretty compact base. Now with this army, I do use the Siege Barracks about 4 times out of 5, so 80% of the time. But when there is a chance to use the Flame Flinger, I would recommend it, because the Flame Flinger just gets insane value, particularly when some of the time the Siege Barracks isn't always going to get value if you're putting it in either an extremely low DPS part of the base where there's no buildings to go down, or an extremely high DPS part of the base. like over here, where a siege barracks would just get wrecked by the big boy cannon. So what I'm doing here, we're doing a slightly long warden walk, but it's going to allow me to flame flinger this whole area of the base, just getting rid of a single inferno and a ricochet cannon. I think that counts as good value. So warden's doing his thing over there, and I want to pull the warden exactly when I need him to. Now, unfortunately, he doesn't get the next shot off there, but you can see perfect timing for the flame flinger to come in and do its thing. And now here we go. We pop the queen ability. Giant arrow damages all the defenses in the way, and we are off with our super witch smash. Same as always with super witches, you want to put the king down last. You want your big boys to be tanking at the start, because we need that king ability to open up to the core of the base. So the king's kind of getting in front and starting to tank now, and that's fine, because we're about to use the ability right here. Now, unfortunately, the earthquake boots don't quite reach what I wanted them to reach. Also, keep in mind, I don't have anywhere near max... Well, I've got close to max hero equipment, but I don't have quite max hero equipment. If I did, that poison tower would have gone down to the spiky ball. So, showing that you don't really need max hero equipment to get 3 stars with this. Even if the poison tower doesn't go down, that is fine. I use the jump spell here. And the Royal Champion's on the top side of the base. Yet again, we're sprinkling in the Valks and the Wizards with the Royal Champion to try and tank for her. Now, I probably didn't need to tank for her versus a Wizard Tower. That was probably slightly wasted, but thankfully the Valks are pretty quick. All the Super Witches are still up. We get through this next single Inferno. Now we're going to deal with the CC, but yet again, not the end of the world, and you can see these Valks on the outside of the base are going to start tanking, and it's beautiful. They're not only doing cleanup, but they're just protecting my Royal Champion here, because my Royal Champion is vulnerable whilst dealing with this defensive CC, and if the Fox goes down, the Royal Champion gets in a lot of trouble really quickly. I mean, look at this. Fox goes down super fast, but didn't matter. All the work had been done, and look at that. That Flame Flinger is yet to open. I believe it does open at the last second. Oh, it gets close. Are we going to need our CC in this attack? But you can see, if you can use the Flame Flinger, it's insane. It's just very hard to use at Town Hall 17 with all the long-range defenses. Now, what about bases where all the fireball value is in the center of the base? Well, I've got a neat little trick for you on that. So, we are warden walking on the left-hand side here, and yet again, going to come in with the Flame Flinger. I'll reiterate, this is uncommon. Generally, 4 times there to fight. Using the Siege Barracks is just really nice value. But if you can get, say, this value with a Flame Flinger, then obviously come in with that. It's too good a value to ignore. So the Warden's doing his thing, clearing this all out. Now, the single Inferno is going to be a little annoying, but not the end of the world. I use the Valk to tank the Mortar here. Single Inferno burning on the Warden. We use a nice invis, but unfortunately the Valk gets in range of the Mortar, so it will get one shot off. But honestly, one shot off, not the end of the world, and the Warden will just 1v1 this single Inferno. But there's no point in using the Fireball now. All I would get, the maximum I could get, is use an invis and land it on the Builder Hut here. And that would be nice value, but my Super Witches are going to be able to clear that out anyway. Now we use the Queen ability on the bottom. If you're wondering how do you hit the double invis bases, Fireball one of the invis and use the Giant Arrow to negate the other one like you see here. Because the Giant Arrow is super strong. I mean, it's just nice damage throughout the base. So we got all the Super Witches on the bottom side. I did have to freeze for my Warden because he was getting wrecked by the Scatter. But have a look at this. So the King's going to push on forward ahead. But notice how far back the Warden sits. So let's take advantage of that. Pretty nice value, eh? Pretty nice value with the Warden. That Town Hall is 1 HP. Absolute 0. All our troops are together. They're going to push through the base nicely here. And then the Royal Champion, same as before. We put her down to try and funnel all the troops in, and we put a bunch of Valks on the outside of the base to tank for her. The Valks from the CC do a great job as well. The Town Hall's 1 HP here, gets finished off by the Warden, and this is a pretty comfortable triple in the end. Now, you might think I'm just hand-picking replays. Hook, you're just picking the ones that are good for you, even though half the attacks of these videos, I did terrible attacks. But I've only switched to this army in the last 2 days, and have a look at this. 320 on both days. Now, am I super high in Legends League? No, I'm going to reset at 57-14 today. So I'm not pretending I'm at the top of Legends League. But the fact that I can come into a new army that I haven't used in a very long time and go 16 out of 16 says everything you need to know about Super Witch Fireball.